Hello all, welcome to episode 4 of our ROS series. In the previous episode, we configured the ROS2 jazzy environment and verified it using the talker and listener example. Now we are ready to create our own development area. In this episode, we will create a ROS2 workspace, understand its folder structure, build it using colcon, and source the workspace and configure it to load automatically. Let us first understand what a workspace actually is. A ROS2 workspace is the main environment folder where we organize, build and use our ROS2 packages. If you look at here, the YT underscore WS, which is a YouTube underscore workspace, for example, we created a name for it, our own environment. And if you think of it as a project container, inside the workspace, we have different folders. Let's say src, build, install and log folders. When we build the workspace, ROS2 generates 3 additional folders. Okay, so these 3 additional folders will be created when we built it. Here, the build folder contains a temporary files and used during the compilation. And the install folder contains the usable results and setup files generated after the building. Similarly, log folder stores information about the build process, which can be useful when something goes wrong. It would be very helpful for the debugging. The important point is that we normally create and edit our packages inside the src. The other folders are generated automatically by the build tool. What I mean to say, src we created intentionally, but when you use the command called colcon build, these 3 folders will be generated automatically. Now, ROS2 workspaces also help us to keep our own project separate from the main ROS2 installation. So ROS2 jazzy is installed inside opt ROS jazzy as we discussed in the previous episode, while our personal work will be stored inside the YT underscore WS. Now let us create it in a terminator. First, I will make sure that I am in the home directory. So simply press CD and title symbol or simply CD. So both will redirect it to the home directory. Now you can see the home directory symbol here. So that's a title symbol which is representing the current user is in the home directory. Now I will create the workspace together with its src folder. Now to do so, we can type mkdir space -p space the title symbol slash our workspace name. We would like to make it as a YouTube Workspace. So YT underscore WS, we can name whatever we want, slash src. Here mkdir, so this means make directory, and then -p option allows the command to create the complete folder path in one step. Okay, so we are creating multiple folders here, so we can use -p, which is the command. Next, we are creating a folder name called YT underscore WS, like YouTube Workspace. And inside it, we are asking to create another folder. The folder name is src. Now, if I enter, so this folder is created. Now we are redirecting to this particular folder. So which is change the directory to Y. If I make tab, so it will automatically fills, because with the name of Y, we have only one folder. So YT underscore WS. Now if I enter, now we are in this YouTube Workspace folder. Let us check what is inside. So we can use the command called ls. It will list all the folders which are available in this particular workspace. Now we have only one folder which is src. At this stage, we should see only one folder because we created one additional folder inside the YouTube Workspace. Now this is where our ROS2 packages will be stored. The workspace is currently empty because we have not created any packages yet. We will do that in the next episode. Now we have to build the workspace using the colcon command. So the The code is colcon build. Here, colcon is a command line tool in the short form of the collective construction. So from the collective, they chosen first three letters COL, and construction they choose first three letters COM. So it's a collective construction, or we can also call it as a compile and configure. So which is the standard build system in ROS2 to build the test or manage the packages. Now it searches the SRC folder for the packages and determine if there are any dependencies and build them in the correct order. And it will prepare the results for using these for the package development. At the moment, our SRC folder is empty, so there are no packages to compile. However, running colcon build prepares the workspace structure and creates the folders required for the future development. Okay, so after the command finishes, let us list the workspace content again. Okay, so it's already finished, the packages are finished. Let's type ls again. Now you see, interestingly, there are additional 3 folders which are created. Those are build, install and log. So the SRC folder is where we write our code. That's clear. So already we discussed in the previous slide. And the build folder contains the temporary build files. And the major one is install. In this folder, we have setup files and which are usable for the results. And similarly, we have another folder which is log folder. It stores the built information. So as we discussed, whenever we have to debug something, we can go to the log files and we can see the process. Normally, we do not manually read the build, install or log folders. So when you press the colcon build, when you enter this command, it will manages them to create automatically. Now, let us briefly look inside the install folder. Now we're in the YouTube Workspace. Now change the directory to install. I type I and use the tab. It will automatically fill it. So now in the install folder and use ls here. Here we can see several setup files. You can see setup.bash, setup.zsh and setup.ps1, and there are several files like setup.bash even, local setup.bash. This setup files prepares the terminal to use the packages built inside this workspace. Now let us return to the main workspace directory. Say cd. Now we are in the YouTube Workspace, and one more important point, whenever you type the colcon build, you should be in the YouTube Workspace, like whatever the workspace you created. So in that directory, you should be there before entering this command colcon build. So don't change the directory to the source and somewhere else, and don't type this colcon build. Make sure that you are in the main workspace like YouTube Workspace and type this command colcon build, which is very important. Now we are in this YouTube Workspace. Let's source this workspace, because whatever we did when we are finished the ROS, we included the setup.bash files. Similarly, if you create the workspace, we have to do the same. We have to source this setup.bash files. So which can do by simply typing source install. So because the setup.bash file is inside the install folder, so install /setup.bash. Now when you enter, so we sourced the your workspace into this terminal. Now this tells the current terminal to include the packages and resources built inside the YouTube Workspace. At the moment, there are no custom packages, so we will not see a major change. But from the next episode onwards, sourcing this file will allow ROS2 to find and run the packages that we create. There is one useful idea to understand here what actually happens. So to summarize, our main ROS2 jazzy installation is the base environment. This is often called the underlay. Our personal workspace, like in this, for instance, we created YT_WS. So this is our personal workspace, is placed on top of that environment. So what I mean, ROS2 is at the base environment. On top of it, we created one workspace, which is YouTube Workspace, for instance. So this is called an overlay. So underlay is the ROS2, overlay is the workspace. The underlay provides ROS2 itself and its installed packages, and the overlay contains the packages that we develop. This allows us to use the standard ROS2 installation while adding our own software on top of it. Now, similarly, if you open the new terminal, again we have to source this workspace. But just like the main ROS environment, this workspace must be sourced, as I mentioned, in every new terminal. So we could manually enter this one like source and tell the path. It's in white_ws install setup.bash, and each time we open a terminal, we have to source it. But we can save time by adding it to the bashrc. So we already discussed bashrc is the file. Whenever you open the terminal, it will automatically run all lines which are inside the bashrc. So that's why we would like to include this piece of line as also in the bashrc folder. So we can do in two different ways. You can open the bashrc by using the gedit, or I can use the echo. So I will add the source command using the echo here. So the command is, let me go to the home directory, and I can type echo space, open the double quotations. I have to source space title symbol slash, the workspace name is yt YouTube underscore workspace slash install slash, the file is setup.bash. Now this should be inside the path should be inside the double quotation. Then we can use the double greater than symbol because we are appending it, so we are not modifying it. If you use the single greater than symbol, it will modify it. So we have to use the double greater than symbol to append it. Space title slash dot bash rc. When you enter, so this piece of line, whatever there inside the double quotation, it will be appended to the bashrc file. The ROS2 jazzy source line should appear before the workspace source line. Okay, in other words, the base ROS environment must be load first, followed by our custom workspace. Now I will reload the bashrc because we have to source it again. Once if you add it, we have to reload it. So to reload it, just simply type source title slash dot bashrc. Now we echoed it, but we are not sourced it into this terminal. But when you open the new terminal, it will do automatically. So when we source it, it is there. Now we can use the workspace inside this terminal. As I mentioned, from now on, every new terminal should automatically load both ROS2 jazzy and our YouTube Workspace. We can also check by opening the bashrc file. Just simply type gedit space title slash dot bash rc. Now it will open our file. Now you can see we just echoed this one. So this one source file. So what I mean to say, first the line command should be the ROS jazzy. We have to source this first, underlay, and after that the base environment. Then we have to, on top of it, we can build our own workspaces, own environment. Okay, these two commands should be there in the gedit file, so that every time when you open the terminal, it will be automatically sourced your ROS and source your workspace. Now our workspace is ready. Now it's a quiz time. Pause the video and write your answers in the comments. Question number 1. Which folder is usually created inside a ROS2 workspace to store the packages? Option A, build. Option B, src. Option C, install. Option D, log. Question number 2. Which command builds a ROS2 workspace? Option A, ROS2 build. Option B, colcon build. Option C, ROS2 run build. Option D, source build.bash. Now let's check the answers. For the question number 1, the correct answer is B. And for the question number 2, the correct answer is again B. That brings us to the end of episode 4. In the next episode, we will create our first ROS2 package and understand the basic package structure. If this video helped you, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching till here. Have a nice day.